here I've got Michael Root's Madman, which is probably it's one of my favourite comic book characters, one of my favourite artists. Basically, Madman is no one knows who he was, but he died, and a guy called Dr. Boyfard even kind of brought him back, and then kind of nicknamed him Frankenstein after Frank Sinatra, and obviously Einstein, and yeah, and he's like, you know, horrifically scarred and stuff, but he's also completely insane, and he wears like, you know, a costume, which you can see there. That's like his like girlfriend. And the good thing about this is there's many good things about this, but there's never any relationship trouble, and that's like a weird thing to bring up. But there's never, because basically it's drawn by Mike Allred, and his wife Laura Allred is the inker, and you know, I think it's based around the relationship. But it's just aware. It makes sense. I don't know, things I'm usually a fan of are kind of things set in reality that are just with something just slightly, you know, tuned in a bit different. I mean, you know, people see him and say, "Why are you wearing that costume?" You know, it's not a normal thing to do. He's, you know.
What made you want to get a tattoo of him, of the design?
Yeah, I just there's another one down there somewhere, but it's tucked away. I don't know. I kind of relate to it in this weird way. I know I wasn't dead. I didn't come back wondering who I was, but I don't know. I feel we should all question certain things in life. Unlikely by Jeffrey Brown. Jeffrey Brown is, I feel he's someone that's been imitated a lot, especially in recent years. It's got quite popular. It's kind of you can see the drawings are, you know, something you'd probably just scribble down, but there's an honesty to it in regards, because I don't actually read a lot of comics like this, but it's so honest, these ones, you know, like general life problems. It's all about like girls usually, but the pacing is so good. I'm a really big fan of pacing when it comes to comics. It's just, each frame is just kind of perfect. He's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is somewhere I spent quite a bit of time about 2 years ago. And, he went to school with a band called Whirlwind Heat, and I was staying with the singer, David, and he knew I was a Jeffrey Brown fan, so he got like original, like, paper clipped, photocopied versions of some of these comics, and yeah, I don't know, it's just great. I mean, they're all of his comics are pretty much similar. There's one which is really good, which is I should have found it. I can't remember what it's called, but he had a book. You know, he's quite wimpy in these, you know, always crying about girls, and so he did. You know, it was getting quite popular, and I guess a lot of critics were kind of criticising him by it. So he did a book. I think it's called "I'm Going to Be Macho," and basically like it's exactly the same, but you know, he'll like hit the girl, like it's really over the top, and you know, you think, you know, fuck you, I'm gonna go drink it, and go out and just all really like rude, and it's like amazing. And he did a sign-in, but we couldn't do it because me and Ferry were actually doing the video the same day. We were upset, but the flyer was one of the best things I'd ever seen. It says, I think it was 4 frames saying like, yeah, hey Jeffrey, so you doing a sign? It's like, yeah, cool. He's like, oh, hey, you've got what did it say? Something like, yeah, you're single now. It's like, yeah, and it's like, oh, so you know, what are you gonna write about? And it's just like silent. It was like the best thing I'd ever seen. David Boring by Daniel Clowes. He's another one that got quite popular recently, which is you know, due to like the Ghost World film, which it was originally based on a serialized comic that was in his 8-ball comics. But it's honestly I mean, I should have done this last. It's my favourite graphic novel of all time. It's beautifully written and beautifully drawn. And this is another one, I guess, in a different way of Madman. Whereas Madman, you know, I was saying it's like, I guess Madman's more, it's like surreal with hints of reality in it. But this is more like real with hints of like surrealness in it. But this is like the best comic. I know it off by heart and I read it at least 4 times a year. I could probably tell you everything on every page if you just said the number. Which was tested at one point with a friend. And I got it right. Blackhole by Charles Burns. Charles Burns, his artwork's another one. His artwork gets ripped off quite a bit. Me and a friend saw a flyer which a kid had done, and everyone was going, wow, this is like such an amazing flyer. And we were just like, this is the worst Charles Burns rip-off I've ever seen, because it was all kind of, it seemed more for the sake of it, whereas you look at this, you know, like just something like that, it's just black pen, do you know what I mean, like it's all there is on this page, you know, there's not a single thing out of place. It's, see, on the yearbook photos, there's no real storyline because it was like, you know, serialized over about 10 years. You know, high school kids, you know, as high school kids do, have sex with each other, but you know, you have the normal twists and turns of high school life, but the only difference is, instead of like, you know, AIDS or STDs going around, it's like mutations. So eventually they all kind of mutate in various ways, and that's how everyone seems to know that, you know, people have had affairs and, you know, whatever. It's the most surreal comic because it's not even, they don't even bring up that it's weird or it's not, do you know what I mean? It's not like focused on, it's like stories. It focuses on many teenagers and their lives, and I think there's 2 in particular, but it's so amazing. You just read it in one go. I remember when I first looked at it at the very, very beginning, it just sucked me in completely. This used to be my favourite, like 4 pages in comics for a very long time, and it's just kind of been like a science class. And the monologue in his head is great. He's just talking about what happened. And yeah, it felt like it was deja vu, the skin ripping up, and it just felt like a toad, and like, it was like, I mean, I went through a phase of passing out a lot in school. I got quite ill, but it's just such a great beginning. Yeah, so Charles Burns. This is Summer Blonde by Adrian Tomine. He's my favourite, like, artist and favourite kind of writer. He's I kind of rip him off quite badly. But no, I've got Sleepwalk on my wrist, which is another one of his graphic novels. But yeah, this is just kind of real life. You know, it's his expression, like artwork-wise, it's the expressions is something that attracted me so much when I was younger. You know, even if there was no words, you can just read it. You know, every character like says something in the face. I don't know, there's just like really simple stories. Like, really simple. Like, he doesn't overcomplicate. There's no massive subplots or things to intertwine. It's, you know, it's really straightforward, and I remember everyone just kind of kept reading them, people that don't read comics. And it's the kind of thing that actually people that don't really read comics, they're shocked that you can be simple. I don't know, because people just have this, I try and explain to people, it's just like saying, you know, not every film that's made in the world is exactly the same. There's like millions of genres, you can do what you want in cinema, and same with comics. You know, people come across this is usually what people get into, I guess. But yeah, he's like my favourite author and artist, so I recommend anything by this guy. And actually, he drew this badge, and it's also a Weezer badge. Happen to be my favourite band, so it's a bit of a double win for me. But yeah, I've got everything he's done actually, like postcards and odd drawings from New York Times and there's a lot of stuff, badges, and posters.
So from your music, I mean, is it the similar sort of themes that you mentioned that it kind of inspires you, that kind of individual take on life and finding surreal moments?
It's really true actually. I mean, I know Adrian, Tomine, of my pessimistic attitudes probably weren't helped from him, but you know, in regards to like this kind of stuff, it's like I definitely, you know, I think especially on this album, a lot of the lyrical themes are very, very similar because they're all based on a comic that I was doing myself, and it's kind of a, you know, I would see whatever I was talking about, whatever I was writing about, kind of make it, you know, a bit surreal. You know, a lot of these things I find remind me of people's minds just wandering, and just letting it come out. And also, I guess with like Madman, it's always, you know, it's also got this element to it. I feel like, you know, bright colours and just something like magical. Well, that's what I wanted anyway. Don't know if I succeeded.